Hello, I'm Charles Clark, and today I want to talk about testing disaster recovery failover with Veeam Backup and Replication. DR testing is a critical part of business continuity strategy, so I want to show you what we can do within the Veeam console. So the first thing I really want to talk about is just a bit of plumbing and background. So I'm just going to open up the vSphere client here. You can see I have a couple of virtual machines and I've already replicated them using Veeam Backup and Replication. Please consult the Veeam documentation for that process. I've also created a network, a separate virtual network, virtual switch, to be able to host those replicated virtual machines. Inside the Veeam Backup and Replication console, I've created a replication job, and I just want to show you some of the settings. As I said, this replication job's already run, so we are going to do mapping to separate virtual networks and separate IP addresses for those two virtual machines. We're going to drop them into a separate resource pool. There's the network mapping. There's the different IP address mapping, some other settings, and scheduling for the actual job itself, and that's it done. But I've already been running replication in my lab here. So what I want to do is actually test the failover. So the first thing I want to do is actually fail over the virtual machines, and what this will do is power on those virtual machines that were sitting in a cold standby state on the target host. I can roll them back to a different restore point if I so desire. Here I'm just rolling them back to the last restore point. And I click finish, and off we go. So you can see the failover process is working. I'll just open stats for one of those VMs. So what's happening here is the virtual machine is being powered on the target host. We're also going to be reapplying the IP rules in any moment and completing the failover. There go the re-IP rules, and the failover is complete. There we go, fantastic. Okay, so let's take a look at what actually happened here. Let me just close that window. Okay, so you can see that on the replica network, I've got those two virtual machines running on that virtual network. If I take a look inside the inventory to see the actual virtual machines themselves, you can see that the original virtual machines are still running and the replicas are running in that separate resource pool. So I can console into the replicas and perform any sort of testing against the replica that I need to be able to perform essentially. So the operating system just has to boot, and then, hey presto, I can log in and do any testing I need to. So for example, I may want to check that the new IP address assignment has been applied successfully. Just move my windows around here. There we go. It now has the 192 IP address rather than 172, which was the original source IP. And I may want to do other things. For example, look for any services that didn't start successfully, or should be running or shouldn't be running, just to make sure that if I ever need to do a failover, then it's going to be successful. Okay, grand. So once I've done that, I want to be able to essentially roll back so that my next replication is only going to be incremental. So I'm simply going to select the virtual machines that I failed over. I don't want to permanently fail them over. I'm going to undo the failover here. And what this will do is effectively undo all the changes on the source and target virtual machines that took place from a failover perspective. So it rolls the replication event back so that the next replication event will be incremental. We can see those replicas are now sitting in their dormant state, but the original virtual machines have been untouched. So a really simple, easy, effective way to test DR. Thank you.